Okay, so today we will be solving systems using the substitution method. So, first step to solving using the substitution method is you need to make sure one of the equations has a variable that's already solved for. What does that mean? You're looking to find an equation that has a variable that's already isolated. So notice this first equation does not have a variable that's isolated just yet. Please notice that the second one does. Y is isolated, so this one is already solved for. So what I will do now is I'm going to go ahead and use this equation. I'm going to plug in 2 minus x in for my y value into the second equation. My second equation would have been the x minus y equals 4. So I would go ahead and take 2 minus x and plug it in for my y term. When I do that, I want to make sure I include parentheses. Okay, why? Well, I need to show that whatever is in front of it, it needs to be distributed to every single term. Right now, you might not notice a number, but please understand that there is an imaginary 1 right in front, which means I will be distributing a -1 to the 2 and a -1 to the negative x. When I distribute, I will get a -2 plus an x. Once I'm at this step, I'm just going to go ahead and combine like terms. So I will combine a positive x with another positive x, leaving me with 2x minus 2 equals 4. Go ahead and get rid of the constant, which is -2, by adding 2 to both sides, leaving me with 2x minus 6. Go ahead and use your common sense. 2 times what number equals 6? Hopefully your answer is 3. If not, you can still practice using the algebraic method, which would be to divide both sides by 2, and that's what will give you x equals 3. You are halfway there. The next step is you need to plug in 3 for x into one of these two equations. I'm going to highly suggest that you plug it into this second equation. The reason being is you already have x, so the next thing you need to find is y. Since this one is already set up as y equals, it's going to take you the least amount of work to find out the value of y. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in x into that equation, making sure I have parentheses. That's always a good habit. Now I'm going to have to simplify. So y equals -1. Please recall the answers are written as x comma y, so my solution will be 3 comma -1. Please make sure that you do check your work in your homework assignments, because if you do not, you will not get credit. If you're wondering how to check work, you will go ahead and plug in 3 for all the x values, -1 for all the y values. You're going to make sure you plug it into both equations. And please make sure that if one of them does not agree, understand that you must have made a mistake somewhere. So, both of these two equations should clear once you plug in 3 for x and -1 for y. Now, let's look at one more example. Again, we're going to go ahead and solve the system using substitution. We need to remember that we always want to make sure that one of the variable is already solved for. Again, what does that look like? You're looking to find a variable that is isolated. Please notice in this first equation, y is isolated. And the second equation, y is also isolated. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and plug in x plus 2 in for the second equation, which was y equals 2x minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 2x plus 1 into the second equation, and for y, making sure I include parentheses just in case I'm going to have to distribute anything. Here, there's technically a 1 in front, and distributing a 1 to both of these terms will not change it at all, so I don't have to worry. But now I'm noticing a dilemma. I have an x here and an x here. I need to make sure they're on the same side, so hopefully you remember that when we have variables on the same side, we want to move it to our left. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides. which is going to leave me with a negative x equals negative 3. If you're wondering what happened just then, not only did I move the x over to the left, I also moved this positive 2 over to my right. Once I do that, I'm going to get rid of my coefficient and x equals 3. You're almost done. Go ahead and plug it into one of the two equations here. To solve for y, I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the first one because I feel like it will be the easiest. When I plug it in, I'm going to make sure I include parentheses just in case. Now I must simplify. Y equals 5. So my solution, since it's written as x comma y, the answer is 3 comma 5. Please make sure you do check your work and your homework in order to get full credit. Again, you will just plug in 3 for all the x values, 5 for all the y values, and both of these statements need to be true. So that concludes our first example. Thank you for watching.